Glenn Ballard, he was on my dream list of if I could work with any producer, he would have been the one I would have chosen. So from day one, I was just so excited to be in the studio with him. And then I got over that because he's so real and down to earth that you get right into the music, and he provides us this environment that just feels so comfortable, and he really encouraged me to write, and I don't know, we just spent hours, and we had all these different ways of writing. Sometimes the melodies and the lyrics came from me. Sometimes I'd come in and he'd already have a chord progression. It sort of worked out, and I would just sit in his studio in the corner and write the lyrics, and he'd work up the track, and we'd have dinner, and we'd hang, and he got me out of my own head, because I'm very neurotic like that, and I found that anytime I was going to start freaking out and think I'm not going to be able to finish this, or my ideas aren't good, or, you know, this not feeling inspired, he had a way of breaking that self-doubt, and he'd get you into the studio. Even if you didn't finish the song yet, he'd say, well, go put the chorus down and just sing what we have for the chorus. Even if it was 3 out of 4 lines. And then we'd build the backgrounds, and most songwriters don't do that with you. They want to complete the song, which is understandable, but there's this really cool thing that he does where he just says, well, get up there, let's do what we have. And so then you're free, and you're not worrying about the fact that you don't have a rhyme yet for a certain, you know, for the 2nd and 4th line, and you start doing that, and then it occurs to you while you're in the studio singing this part, you start to problem solve. And so I learned to breathe, and that it would all come, and that I was a decent songwriter. I've always written songs and been a singer and a performer, and I've always done a lot of different things. And it just so happens that people got to know me from the theater first, which I'm very grateful for, my experiences. But this is exciting because, yeah, I'm not in the costume anymore, and I can stand up with my band and do my own lyrics and express myself in this way. And it's a little more difficult because you find that people are, people want to pigeonhole you, and it's almost, you make life too difficult for them when you give them too many choices. So the people that are more versatile have a harder time showing the world, that they can be good at something else. And so what I've been trying to do is just to be as consistent as with who I am as a person and as a singer and as a performer in my music when I'm in the theater and when I'm singing my own music, so that there's always a through line. And then I just change the elements that surround me, like get a great producer like Glenn to help pick the new sounds that should surround my voice. But I'm trying to own the fact that it's okay to be versatile, instead of be ashamed of the different places that I've come from, and to not apologize for that, and to be proud of the kind of voice that I have, and let people, hopefully bring people into me. When I was making the record, I kept Annie Lennox as sort of a good example, because she's not really acted and stuff, but she's very theatrical and very expressive and a very emotional singer, and I thought that was something to remember and to hold on to, because a lot of people think theater singers are going to come in and be overly emotional and too much in the studio, and I think that there is a way that you can have both, that you can be expressive and not oversing. And so she's someone I've always sort of held up there as an example, as permission to experiment with what I was doing with Glenn. And then there are the women like Barbra Streisand and Bette Midler and women like that in the past were embraced and welcomed to do all the different things that they wanted to do. And for some reason, this day and age, we're a little bit harder on people when it comes to that. But Barbra Streisand, she wrote Evergreen. She was in the movie. She was first a Broadway actress. She just did everything, and it was okay. So those are the women I hold on to as giving me an excuse to keep going forward when I feel like people maybe are not flexible enough. Plans are to spend a lot of time with this album and get the band going and get out on the road, and the plan is to commit myself to my music career for a little while and to not digress with. I mean, I'm going to get back to the stage, and I want to do all the other acting, but right now I just really want to focus on music and getting in front of fans and getting out there. When you first come out with an album, you don't get to sing in front of fans as often as you'd like, because it takes a while before you go on the road. First you have to do these appearances and stuff, and so it'll be a breath of fresh air to get out there in front of some of the fans. The record for me was just, I was just writing about my day-to-day life and how I felt and trying to figure out who I was and who I am and what do I want to be and what do I want to change and what I don't want to change, and, you know, just life. And I want people to, I guess I want people to realize their strength, you know, the things that, when I was writing this record, I started to realize what makes me unique and what makes me an individual, and those things are hard for me to stomach sometimes, and there's things that I celebrate about myself, and so I wrote about that. And so I would like people to take away from my album the same ideas that it's okay to be who you are, and it's okay to be figuring it out and not knowing as well.